Welcome back to another episode of The Deep Dig. This is part 2 of Treasures in Heaven, which is going over Matthew 6:19 through 24. This is where you can find part 1 on YouTube, and this is where you can find part 1 on Instagram. Today we're going to be looking over Matthew 6:22, 23, and maybe 24, probably. And 22 says, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" So let's look into why the eye is referred to as the lamp and not something like a sponge. Part 1 was about what motivates you, what you focus on. And this part 2 is also about what do you focus on? Do you focus on the world, or do you focus on things of God? The eye absorbs what you spend your time on, what you focus on, and it sends that throughout your whole body, meaning that your motivation will now be towards either things of the world or things of God. And now you're full of those things that your eye takes in, and that is portrayed out in your character, because it will be the motivation for the things you do, how you treat people, how you talk, and other people will see that. So the eye isn't a lamp that shines outward. The lamp is inside. It shines throughout your body. It spreads what you see throughout your body. When you come into a dark room and you turn a lamp on, you're turning the lamp on so you can be guided, so you can see the path that you want to take. And this is what your eyes are doing. They're showing you the path that you are focused on, either with the world or God. The King James Version reads, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?" So let's look at the word single here, because I really liked the use of this word here. Singleness appears 3 times in the King James Version, and 2 of those times are about serving masters, which is interesting once I get to verse 24, because so far these verses seem to be about what you focus on, what motivates you, and the actions you take after you are motivated. But you could also look at these as serving. Who are you serving? Are you serving God, or are you serving the world? Acts 2:46 in the King James Version says, "And they continued daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God." So they were together and they had one heart. Their heart was uniformed in praising God together. Ephesians 6:5 in the King James Version says, "Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters, according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Christ." So here it is saying you need to have your heart needs to have one single focus, and that is on God. Colossians 3:22 says almost the same thing. "Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as man pleases, but in singleness of heart, fearing God." So back to Matthew 6:22 in the King James Version, when it says, "If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." That's so if we keep our focus, all our attention on the things of God, then our body will naturally be filled with light and goodness. And so now we finally get to verse 24, which wraps these groups of verses up. In the King James Version, it says, No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. So what is mammon? The etymology of the word says it comes from the Aramaic word mammon, which means wealth, riches, or gain. Some 3rd century scholars thought that mammon was an actual demon. Here is an oil painting of mammon from George Frederick Watts in 1885. And you can see that the two people there are exhausted and have nothing, even though they have been working so hard to get those things that do not matter, those worldly possessions. The NIV says, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." Notice how the King James Version and the NIV both say serve, which is again an action word. So what is the lesson here? What are we supposed to get from these verses? Is it to not work ever and not get any money? I don't think that's what it's saying here. I think it's talking about your reason for existence. If you have a single heart for the world, for money, that's all you focus on, that's all you look at all day long is material things, and that's where your drive comes from, then your whole body will be filled with this motivation, and you will hate the kingdom, you will hate God and what he stands for. If you have a single mind for God and you focus on God and the things of God, the things of heaven, the treasures in heaven, then your whole body will be filled with love, with God, with good things, with righteousness. And in turn, people will see that. You will portray that out. It will be part of your character, and you will be able to help bring people to know Jesus. You will be able to share his love for them. So that wraps up this episode of The Deep Dig, Matthew 6:19 through 24. Like I said last time in part 1, I think you should just evaluate your life. Where does your motivation come from? What do you focus on? What are you staring at on your phone all day? Is it material things, or is it things of God? Where does your drive come from, and why are you doing certain things? I think if you already have a lot of money, or if you have a lot of material things, that's okay. I'm not saying that you're serving a demon called mammon or anything like that, because I think this is about your interior character, your heart, and the motivation for your actions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and have a great day.